Hi, this is Zach here with the Bulletin Board Heroes here at Zach's Traders Cafe for Monday the 13th of May. Starting off with the FTSE 100 where we've got that rising trend channel from December, which actually looks a little bit too optimistic at the moment, but nevertheless we're still seeking that 8,500 level. We're 60 points away from that at the moment. That was the top of the 2007 rising trend channel, and even to getting up to that would be something of a miracle given how poor the landscape looked even just a month or so ago. If you are more cautious and thinking that the top of that channel there is too optimistic, then perhaps there could be a mid-channel destination, not 9100 there, but actually just around the 8800 level, which would be a more tight trend channel, so 8800 or 8750 by the end of next month. But still looks as though we are in that wide rising trend channel that could achieve 9,000 plus by the summer. On the downside, the worst case here really would have to retest the late April resistance at 8,200 as a rug pull type of move, but ideally we stay on the right side of 8,300, given that the initial resistance this month was through that zone. In fact, 83.30 would be the ideal support for this market. Moving on to the DAX, and here you can see that we're still trying to consolidate at the higher levels. 18,500, the old resistance back at the turn of March, April. Above that, we're looking for the top of the rising trend channel here from back in October, as high as 19,300. By the end of this month. Obviously, one could shift that into the end of June, but at the moment it could be the end of this month. On the downside, if we do break down below 18,500, then 18,200, and late April resistance is the favored destination. Moving on to the Dow, and here you can see that the Dow has been able to fill that gap up to, well, the initial gap down that we had, the April gap down, so it's a gap closed buy signal. That suggests that we are looking for at least a retest of the best levels ever here towards 39,900 and up to as high as 41,000 by the end of next month. Ideally, we stay on the right side of that rising 50-day line, 38,700 in the meantime. Moving on to Bitcoin, which has been the problem child amongst these leading markets, but even here, nice bounce off the 60,000 area. Haven't had to go to that overshoot bear trap area at the beginning of this month, and the view at the moment, therefore, is that while we're above 60,000, looking for the 50-day line of that March resistance line to break at 65,500, and perhaps set up a move up towards 70,000 plus as soon as the end of this month. The only thing missing, as I said yesterday, is the RSI to be back above neutral 50 versus 49 at the moment, so maybe we'll get that by the end of today. Moving on to the gold situation, and here you can see that we made decent progress at the end of the week. We cleared that neckline resistance area 2365, and therefore that leaves us looking for the 24.48 level, 48.8 level for the end of this month as a potential target. RSI at 63 after the bounce off, or the double bounce off neutral 50. On the downside, still not expecting anything worse than 2280, 2290, now the area of the 50-day moving average. Moving on to the stocks, and there's good technical news for Acuity. Here you can see the bear trap, double bear trap gap reversal, so gapping up twice there after hitting a new low and gapping through the 50-day line at 3.8 pence. At least while we're above that 50-day line, looking for the 6 pence level by the end of this month, which is the top of that broadening triangle from back in October. And this does look like the best turnaround the shares have had since back in May last year, which may be some kind of coincidence. Moving on to capital metals, which I looked at, I believe, yesterday, but here we're approaching the main resistance here around 5.3 pence, and above that looking for the top of that rising trend channel as high as 7.4 pence by the end of this month. A very nice looking setup with the sideways shuffle, as I call it, above a rising 50-day line that we've had since mid-March, and also the multiple bounces for the RSI at and above neutral 50. So it looks as though CMET getting ready for something nice to happen. Next up is a charting call I'm very proud of at the moment, Faron Pharmaceuticals. We had the initial target here around the £1.60 area after the sideways shuffle above a rising 50-day line. The rather ambitious target thereof that was £2.03, which was the red resistance line projection. And now the even more ambitious target would be to hit £2.80 by the end of this month, and that old June 2023 resistance line projection. The other point to note, I suppose, is we are very near to the 200-day line, 251, so that could be a potential resistance and a target, of course, in the meantime. Upside value while we remain above that 203 zone. Moving on to gold and metal, where the name of the game here has been to try and work out when the shares will break to a new upside trend. The positive here is that we had the unfilled gap to the upside back at the beginning of April, and we've never filled that gap, which is a positive signal. Unfilled gap to the upside as we had back in January, so that shows that the stock is still very much on fire, and looking for an end-of-day close really through the initial May resistance, 15.5p, to then take us up through the top of that, to that top of that rising trend channel, 22p plus by the end of next month. Only an end-of-day close back below 13.5p, really delaying the upside scenario. Onto a stock where received an email from the PR company, which is obviously a great trigger to have a look at the shares. Was probably going to look at them anyway, but here we've got Hercules, initial target here at 38p, next target there at 48p, hopefully by the end of next month. The 48p derived from the upper parallel of that broadening triangle from back in July last year, and hopefully we'll see that, as I said, by the end of next month, while we remain above the 50-day line at 32p. So the key here would be that we've actually already got it. The 50 and 200-day lines now both rising, so that should be a help, as is the way that we've had a gap fill rebound from the old April gap there, bouncing on 32p. Moving on to another stock which seems to be a winner at the moment, Inspired Energy. We've had our fill of the initial target there, around 82p, next target up to 105 by the end of this month, which is the upper parallel of that rising trend channel base from back in September. And upside valid, especially while we hold above the April resistance at 89p. Moving on to Landore, where I was very keen the other week, and apart from the slight slip that we had on Friday, it looks like we're still on track for decent upside here. It's a bull flag at the highs, or the recent highs, after filling the gap up to the 3p level. The longer we spend above 3p, the greater the chance of a move up to the upper parallel of that rising trend channel base from January, 4.3p by the end of this month. Still really like that saucer-shaped turnaround, and then the bull flag attached to it. Moving on to the next situation, which is MediaZest. Here I was possibly a little bit cautious in terms of how the market will react to the 350 grand's worth of extra revenues, but here we go, and we've broken recent resistance there. The initial target there around 7.5 or 0.07.5, and now clearance of the 0.1 area could take us up to 0.18 as soon as the end of this month, basically looking for a repeat of that vertical move that we had back in January 21. So but really the key is closing above 0.1p for MediaZest. On to Power Metal, which I covered yesterday, and a slight positive reaction now. The key here is to be to get us an end of day close back above the initial 2024 support there. That was 13p. Above that, looking for at least 16 or 17p by the end of this month, bouncing off oversold RSIs as well. Moving on to another stock in the wars, Shield Therapeutic, and here it looks as though we've bounced, or we're breaking out of this very thin falling wedge that we had there, the 1.3 level, the one in focus, and now we've got what I call a U-shaped bull flag. We just need to break the 50-day line and the initial May resistance around 1.9 pence, and that could take us up to the next level up, March resistance, as high as 2.6 pence by the end of next month. Obviously, it's quite a punchy call, but that breakout of that falling wedge, pretty punchy as well. Moving along to Sareum, which has been a requested stock. Here you can see we're bouncing on with another U-shaped bull flag, as I call it, off the 50-day line, just waiting for that 50-day line to start rising. In the meantime, though, we've still got a possibility of 45 pence by the end of this month at the top of that triangle there from back in December. Stock which I managed to avoid on a consistent basis is Trufin, but as you can see from the daily chart, that has been a mistake. Here you can see that we've got a wide rising trend channel from the heady days of April 2020. We've broken a major resistance line there from 2021 at 71 pence, and above that looking for £1.10 as soon as the end of next month. So apologies to all fans of Trufin rather, as it looks like there's going to be a big turn around there. We've already had the golden cross in the middle of last month between the 50 and 200-day moving averages. Moving on to the last two. First one is Tertiary Minerals, and here you can see got a U-shaped or a V-shaped bull flag breakout. The breakout level around 0.11 and above 0.1, looking for 0.19. 0.17 rather, as soon as the end of this month. But very nice turnaround there with that V-shaped bull flag, as well as the sharply rising 50-day line and the gap fill rebound. The last stock of the day is Zoo Digital, and here the celebrations are in order because the shares have gapped through our initial target there around 60 pence, in fact 59 pence to be precise at the moment, but above that, above 59, looking for as high as 86 pence by the end of next month. Beautiful bear trap island reversal, so gapping down and then gapping up on the end of March, and then gapping up for the start of May and this weekend, after this weekend as well. That's it for me today. More updates tomorrow.